Hi everyone, my name is Tanya and today I am delighted to be guest designing for Tonic Studios. Tonic were kind enough to send me a few of their new mixed media dyes to try out and a variety of their mediums to play with. And with the mediums and the dyes, I decided to create a mini handbound journal. So I have a piece of canvas here and I am using the Distress Text stencil, which is by Tonic Studios, and I am applying some glimmer paste in the shade Moonstone, which is a gorgeous clear color, with my palette knife onto my canvas. And I am leaving some gaps here and there because I don't want to fill the whole piece of canvas with the paste. I just want some of the areas to remain clear. And then what I'm doing is I am drying the paste, and because the canvas is very porous, it sort of shrinks when you apply wet media to it. So I have some bottles sort of arranged around the edges, and I am spraying some water and sprinkling some of the Nuvo Shimmer Powders. So the shades I'm using are Solar Flare and Violet Brocade. And I'm sort of sprinkling the powders and then spraying some water on to get the powders to move. They're highly pigmented and the shimmer in them are absolutely gorgeous. And I'm actually looking forward to using them as watercolor paint to paint in stamped images and to do lots of mixed media techniques with. You can mix the shimmer paste, the shimmer powders with a variety of mediums to colorize them. And I love that they're very water reactive as well, which makes them very versatile, and you can achieve a variety of techniques with them. And when it was wet, I dabbed at it with a kitchen towel, which lifted away most of the color. And as you can see, it lightened the color a little bit, which is the effect that I was going for. And you can also see that the glimmer paste that I used resisted the shimmer powders, and you can still see the text clearly on the colorized canvas. So once I have dried my canvas sheet, I have some pieces of gray board that I've cut down to size. I'll leave the dimensions for the journal on the Tonic Studios blog, and if you're on my YouTube channel, the link will be in the description box below. And I have glued down the gray board pieces onto my canvas, and I've left a little bit of a gap between the spine and the book covers, and I am snipping off some of the edges with my scissors so that when I fold the edges over, they lay nice and flat over the corners. So I tried using a glue, but a wet glue, but that didn't quite cut it. So I used some power tape by Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L to stick down the covers, and I am just folding them over and burnishing them with a bone folder to make sure that they adhere completely to the gray board. And that is my book, my journal cover assembled, and I'm just making sure that everything folds down well. Now off camera, I prepared some sheets of paper. This is just ordinary copier paper, and I sprinkled a variety of the shimmer powders onto my craft sheet and put some water down and swiped the papers through on both sides to colorize them to create my book pages. And I have cut them down to size to make pages inside of my art journal. And here I am just arranging them into 4 leaves into 3 signatures which I'm going to attach inside. So I'm just arranging the papers and just seeing how I want to have them arranged inside the art journal. So I also had another spare piece of colorized paper, same done with the shimmer powders, that I cut down to size to fit inside to cover that gray board for the spine and the book cover edges. So I'm just taking my tape off and just sticking that down so that it's all nicely covered. And then I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure that everything is adhered down and sort of just press out the folding parts of the cover as well. So just to encourage the paper to fold as I want it to. So now I've got my signatures arranged in a way I like, and I'm creating a template using a piece of cardstock which is the same height as my signatures, and I am poking some holes with my pokey tool so that I have a template as to where I want to put the holes for my thread. And just to make sure that the signatures, the papers don't move around, I'm putting some clips on the signatures so that they don't move around. So I'm not really measuring where I want the holes in the spine of my journal to go, but I am using the template that I created to make sure that the holes are the right height. So I've put down 3 sets of holes, so 6 holes in total in the spine, and I'm making sure that the holes are large enough so that I can thread my piece of waxed twine through. You can use bookbinding thread, but this is what I had on hand, and I really love the thickness of this twine that I'm using. So I am just threading the twine through the spine and then through the signature and then into the signature again, then out of the spine, and this will create the knot on the outside. If you want your knot to be on the inside and not on the outside of the spine, start threading your twine from the inside first. So again, I am just attaching the last signature. So threading it through the spine and then in through the first hole of the signature, and then on the inside I'm threading it from the inside to the outside of the signature and then through the cover again, and then I am going to tie a double knot on the outside. You can add some beads or sequins or trinkets to the outside, or if you wanted to, you could cover up that thread with another piece of cardstock if you didn't want it to show. Now I am using the mixed media die. This is called Cassandra's Ventana Media die, and I am using some Nuvo Expanding Mousse, which is something new to me, so I was really excited to try this, and this is in the shade Tuscan Gold, and I am applying the mousse very unevenly to my die cut shape, and so that I get a variety of different textures. The mousse expands in how it works is that you put it on and then you heat set it and it expands, and you can get different effects depending on whether you let the mousse dry first, but I am heat setting the mousse while it's still sort of a little bit wet, and as you can see, it heat sets pretty quickly, and you can see that it picks up the marks from my palette knife as well. And just to show you that this mousse is quite versatile, you can use it to highlight your any texture that you have on your embellishing pieces. So I am using the expanding mousse in the shade worn linen, just on the top bits of the expanded mousse, just to emphasize all that delicious texture. And I'm bringing my mini art journal back, and I have my die cut pieces. So I'm using this set Eat, Sleep, Repeat media die set, and you've got some really fun sentiments that you can die cut in this set. And I'm just sort of seeing which pieces I want to use. The media set are quite versatile, and it says on the packaging that you can use it to cut leather, grey board, foam board, fabric, and much more. I just wanted to use a plain, something plain for my sentiments, because the background and the embellishments, there was so much going on in the background that I wanted to keep my sentiments quite simple, which is why I just used cardstock, which I cut out the word craft 3 times, layered it up, and I put a white cutout word in the back and just offset it a little bit so that it was peeking around the edge, just so that it would pop a little bit more against that background. I quite often do this when I have a background that I've got a lot going on. So now I am using an aqua shimmer pen by Tonic Studios. This is in the shade Glitter Gloss. This is one that I had in my stash and I use quite a lot, and you can see that it gives a beautiful subtle shine. And here is a quick look at the finished project. I hope you enjoyed it. Here's a look inside at all the delicious papers inside, and a look at the cover. And here are some shots. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to Tonic Studios for letting me guest for them today. Thank you so much. Take care and have a great day. Bye.